where we present our work and also present what we also going to work for the next weeks, our plans, and give you the opportunity to also ask us questions and give us feedback about Windmill. You have a pretty full team this week. Diego is ill, but otherwise almost everyone is there. This week, so we're gonna maybe wait 1 minute or two, but yeah, like we do this every Friday at 5:45 p.m. in CET time, and just a way for us to give you like a more direct way to digest our change logs and also get to see a lot of the behind the scene activity, things that you don't necessarily see in our change logs, but take a lot of our time. So myself, this week we've onboarded pretty large customers. It was the opportunity for us to also stress test a few things. We've noticed some, I'll say, situation where we were a bit too hungry on for the workers on connections, so on using too many connections to the database. So there was a few, I'll say, performance improvements. We were able to debug to the point where actually, like now, a worker would just be fine with one connection. We kept the maximum size of the pool to 5, but just if ever we were to restrict to one connection, it would still work. I've also work on a change that basically has we've open source the NSGL mode. The NSGL mode has been there forever. It's what power our cloud. It's allow full job isolation. It's more secure, but it's also more constraining because if you have jobs that want to alter the file system or do things that require actually to manipulate directly the worker, you can't. But it is also more secure. So it's a mode that is been enjoyed by a few of our customers that are very tight security constraint, and now we've made it fully open source and also a lot easier to configure because it's directly in the instance settings. I'll just share my screen very quickly so that you can see what I'm talking about. So here you can see in this menu that it's first we have a redesign menu. So thanks to Guillem, so we started with the workspace settings, then apply a similar design to the instance settings. And here you can see that you can just pick the job isolation directly here. And so you don't have to set it on every worker or anything. It's going to be propagated automatically. One of the reasons for doing this is because we're going to work on the Sandbox SDK. So NSGL, that's the main principle of the security around it is around sandboxing, and sandboxing is now very popular because that's a great way to let AI agent do the work without fearing for security. Because I mean, a very powerful mode is to do just the YOLO mode, where the agent has access to a full file system and then do dangerous stuff. But as long as it does it in a sandbox, that's fine. We've already have all the tech to do that well. We're missing a few SDK and we're missing some resume and suspend capabilities. But this is something that is gonna be one of the major work of this quarter. It will allow us to basically have something complementary to the AI agent step as well, where you could just run Cloud Code directly in it or anything you want, but Cloud Code would be a good use of it within a resumable sandbox. I think the other thing that I'm working on, and it's probably something we should have done a long time ago, but I'm working on true infrastructure as code for the instance settings. So right now there's a few things you can do in the Helm chart, but a lot of settings you actually have to do in the UI, which is not necessarily best practice for a lot of reasons. And the reason why we did it this way is because you actually want those settings to be stored in the database and not passed as environment variable, because you want them to be propagated everywhere and auto-reloaded and everything. But there is a way to do both, which is to introduce an operator or like a process that will basically monitor like your config, like a resource, an artifact on Kubernetes. And then whenever there is a change, then it will update the database and keep everything in sync. We'll actually very likely make it open source, and will probably be the recommended way to set up Windmill in the future. We'll also probably make the worker config UI open source as well. It's something that was an enterprise feature, but it's kind of a silly thing to put in enterprise feature. So we'll probably ease that decision. A lot of things that now that we are a lot more mature and have a lot more enterprise feature and the lines are a bit clearer, we're a lot more comfortable just making some stuff in open source. We're also working clarifying how the native mode will work. There's a bit of like confusion about how native workers work and how they're enabled or not. So we will simplify this as a follow-up. And that's pretty much it for me. So maybe Alex or Hugo, if you want to take over. I think Alex, you didn't have much to present this week. So
Yeah, this week, yeah, I've been working on internal stuff mostly, so not much to share. I mean, just that maybe the Kafka and MS SQL Kerberos support is now live, so anyone who wants to give it a spin can go ahead. Yeah, Hugo, I guess you had
Um,
a similar situation.
yeah, I don't have much to show. What I can say though is that I showed Google triggers last week. It's not done yet, but we'll release it soon. But yeah, I'm right now working on native triggers, which basically make it quite easy to trigger stuff in Windmill from external services. So we've worked on making it more with Nextcloud and Google. And Nextcloud is already released, and by next Wednesday, once Nextcloud release their next version, you'll be able to easily connect it to your own Nextcloud instance. So yeah, we're pretty happy about this, and yeah, looking forward. I don't know who's next. Maybe Farad.
Yeah, I can go next. So let me share my screen. So yeah, this week I made. We'll talk about three main things. First little thing is I added an option when you add an Anthropic resource to enable the 1 million context. So it's just a header to send to Anthropic to enable it because it's not enabled by default. So you can enable it here. Second thing is we added a Cloud Code plugin for Windmill. So you can install it on your Cloud Code. So this is exactly the same that will be added if you use the CLI. So I will show you that next. But you can also install it independently if you want. And yeah, the third thing is about the CLI. So now when you do a windmill in it, you have the skills I talked to you about here. So you have a lot of them. So it's to not clutter the main agents.md, and it just redirects to the skills. So it just uses what it needs when it needs it. So it's cool. And the second thing is I added a lint command to the CLI to check if every of your files are correct. So it checks flows and also triggers and schedules. So here I can test. So right now everything is correct. I can modify one, for example here, remove a line. Yeah, so it works well. Let me try again. Yeah, so it was not a required. So yeah, so when you remove a required property, it errors out. You can try this also, for example. Yeah, so it tells you it's not correct. So it works for schedules and triggers and flows, and it also applies to the VS Code extension if you have it. So I made it a setting that is enabled by default, but I disabled it for this demo. And here you can see that it also applies it here. And it will show you directly in the ID diagnostics. So for example, Cursor and Cloud sometimes checks those diagnostics, so it will be automatic, so it will be great, ideally. Yeah, that's it for me.
may,
Um,
may, Maybe you just want to, I mean, you've already done it, but reiterate that it's good for humans, but it's really, really good for Claude. So it will allow a very tight feedback loop where basically Claude will make some changes, Lint will say, oh, actually you did this wrong, and then he will be able to correct himself. One of the primary interface for this will actually be AI agents, and it's part of our global roadmap of just making Windmill globally cloud native or like AI agent native, being able to like just have everything being done in one shot or a few iterations. Yeah, that we have a few follow-ups to that, but it's one of the cornerstone of that strategy.
Ash, I think you have something to show.
Yes, I do have. I want to start sharing the screen. Yeah, I think it should be good. Well, I've been working on, apart from minor performance improvements on the backend, I also been working on UV index strategy. So if you use multiple UV indexes, you might be interested in this because this is the option in instance settings that specifies how exactly you would want to resolve packages that exist on both extra and the main index. So by default, it is set to unsafe best match, which is same as, I mean, rather similar to PEEP. We did it because of backwards compatibility once we migrated from PEEP to UV. But I would actually recommend setting to the first index because it's, I mean, it's default in UV and it is recommended it more secure. So yeah, if you use both of them, you probably should take a look at this. The other thing I was working on is pretty minor improvements on the web editor, LSP. So if you have Python or TypeScript that are having relative imports, you might have an import statement over here, and now you can hover over it and see some information about it, and you can go to the definition with the control and left mouse click and then go back. And also pretty cool thing, you can also remove some of the, I mean, make it invalid, and now it will underline it and say, okay, it doesn't exist. Maybe you meant leaf 1 or leaf 2, which is existing script, and you might want to change it. Yeah, that's pretty minor, but still pretty cool improvement. And the other feature I was working on is language feature voting. So it's been quite a bucket for us. I mean, we have plenty of missing features for different languages, and it's kind of better to have some way to give community way to vote for what languages, what features of the languages is mostly needed for them. So now this is going to be available publicly. You would need to log into GitHub, and then you can select the features that you like, and then you can submit it, and we will look at this and maybe prioritize some of the features that getting the most votes. Apart from that, also been working on minor documentation improvements that are highlighting and basically laying out all the features that our languages support. So in docs, you will be able to see what features specific language supports.
I do have to go, but you're in good hands, so see you next week. I have a customer meeting, so see you. Have a great weekend.
Yep, so it's basically it. All the features are not, all the features except for Python index strategy resolution are not deployed, so they will be deployed soon, and I think that's it for me. If anyone wants to go next, maybe.
Yeah, I can. I can real quick. Yeah, so usually I'm not on the product side, but we noticed that we might have some missing docs or change logs to compare to our most recent features. That's because we ship really fast. So I'm working on an automated way of like not missing anything. So it should be improved beginning of next week. But of course, we are very happy if you flag that there is some missing docs or anything relating to our website. So yeah, that's it on my side. I don't know if Tristan wanted to add a word.
No, I don't have anything to show this week. Mostly worked on internal stuff like Alex, but maybe next week.
And Martin, do you want to say something, or are you good?
Yeah, no, same, mostly ops stuff. Well, maybe just I've been working a little bit on our AI agents in Keep, so we'll try and improve this in the coming weeks. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the AI tool used to question our documentation.
Okay.
Yeah, so now that's the time where the audience can ask questions. So either on the Discord chat or in YouTube related to our features and products. For support, just as the regular Discord channels. And if we don't have any questions, we'll leave you on that. Nothing on YouTube so far. Okay, so maybe let's stop watching ourselves and process with a good weekend for everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.
See you.
Bye.
Have a
See
good
you, bye.
weekend.
Yeah. Bye.